Hello, everyone, and welcome to Victober. My name is Art, and this is the Bookshelf Odyssey podcast YouTube channel. And I'm so excited to be here in Victober and finally having a podcast and a video channel to talk about my favorite Victorian literature. If you haven't seen my Victober TBR video yet, the link will be here somewhere or down there or over here. I don't know. I still have to figure out how this whole thing works. So in today's video, I just want to introduce Victober and show you some of my Dickens collection, especially the older books that I own. And so let's go ahead and do that. You may have seen in the introduction little video panning of my Dickens shelf. Those are not the only Dickens books I own. Those are the set of Everyman's Library classics. I'm collecting those of Dickens books. I'll also pick up a Dickens book if it's old or neat looking. So I have a couple here I want to show you. Well, to start with, let's talk about what I'm going to be reading. Again, you can check out my TBR to get all the details on that. And throughout this month, I will be posting video updates when I finish one of those books, and I'll give you a review on it. So I got a lot of video content coming this month. So for my popular choice, I had 3 books for you all to choose from. First of all was The Dead Secret by Wilkie Collins. Then I had Weird Stories by Charlotte Riddell. And then I had Susan Hopley by Catherine Crowe. The winner was overwhelmingly in favor of the Wilkie Collins story, The Dead Secret. Which I'm pretty happy about because I like Wilkie Collins from what I've read of him. But the other 2 sounded really good, so hopefully I'll have time to read those, especially the Weird Stories by Charlotte Riddell. That sounds, it's just a collection of weird stories, I guess, a short story collection. So I'll be doing that, and I'm looking forward to reading those along with the other choices I have for Victober. I can't wait to see what all you are going to be bringing to booktube during Victober. In addition, also make sure you like and subscribe this channel, because not only will I be posting reviews of my books that I read, but throughout the month I'll be talking about some of my favorite Victorian novels, some of my favorite Dickens novels, and then also I'll be posting some videos where I read some stories out loud to you. I want to show you, to start off with, a couple of books from my Dickens collection, especially from my old antique book Dickens collection. Got it. So let's go ahead and jump on that. I'm going to spin the camera around so you don't have to see my face anymore, and you can look at the books I'm going to show you, because they're a lot nicer to look at. Well, I can't find my tripod, so I'm going to try to just hold it. Hopefully I don't shake too much for you. The first 2 books I have are Nicholas Nickleby and Little Dorrit. These are a leather cover. This one's from 1906, and this one's from 1907. What's neat about this is they're small, they're pocket sized. They feel pretty fragile though. It's the New Century Library edition. The pages are very thin and fragile, but we have some handwriting in here. I don't know the year. There's no year to it. Looks like the name is Ida Mabel Burkhoff, maybe, from New York City. And I love it when I find old books with handwriting in it, and especially if there can be a date written in it. I know I've seen some and have some that were given as like Christmas presents, things like that. I always find that neat. And then here we have some beautiful illustrations as well in the opening. But then, as you can see, the pages, they're so thin. The print is really tiny, and I've tried to read it from this edition before, but it's really difficult. I found it difficult to do that because of the small print, and then you can see maybe some of the bleed through from the other page makes reading hard. But I think these are just beautifully made. I love the gold on the side or on the spine, and I picked these up from Half Price Books, I believe, in Omaha, and just really an amazing little addition to my collection. This one's not an antique at all, but it's got a beautiful cover. It has those beveled edges, some illustrations on the inside here, inspired, I think, by some of the original drawings. But then, and then what I like about this book is that I have an autograph here from Gerald Dickens, who does a one-man show of A Christmas Carol. And so I was able to go and see his performance. I've seen him perform many times, and this is one of the times I went in 2015 and got this book autographed by him. So that's one of the special ones I have. Speaking of Gerald, I also have his edition of The Life of Our Lord. He wanted to teach his children about Jesus, so he wrote like his version of the Gospels for his children. It was not intended for publication at all, and it was only published in the 1900s, early 1900s. And then again, I got this autographed by Gerald Dickens as well in 2014 when I got to go and see him perform. But it's a very charming story, and if you follow me on my Cozy Christmas podcast, I actually read some selections from this during the Easter season because it talks about the life of Christ. Now, this is a book I was really excited to find. This is my newest addition, or my newest addition to my Dickens collection. And it's My Father as I Recall Him, and it's written by his daughter, Mammy Dickens. And I'm pretty sure this is a first edition, at least first edition in an American printing. And here we have the introduction written by Mammy's older sister, Katie, and this was published shortly after Mammy's death. And we get a little bit of a picture of her there. A nice drawing of the man himself there. And then again, we get a little bit, someone's name. And then here's the copyright information in 1897 is when it was published. And I believe I read it was published in England in 1896. This book is in pretty good condition, and I was really excited to get this one, as it's basically not so much a biography, it's more of Mammy's memoir of her father. And some say that it kind of paints him in a rosy picture, that he can do no wrong. It sounds like some of their concerns are the same they have of Elizabeth Gaskell's biography of Charlotte Bronte, but this is his daughter writing about him, and I think if she wants to remember him as a good and kind man, that's good, and you get the accurate impressions of her father, and that's really what this book is about. I don't think it's meant to be a critical biography. She's just writing down about her father and her love for him and what she remembers and experienced in her life with him. So I've read portions of it, and I'm looking forward to reading the whole thing. Here's a great one, Sketches by Boz. You can maybe see the imprint there. It's part of the Dickens work collection. Here we have some handwriting from August of 1892, which is pretty neat. And that's why I like it when they write the date in, because some of these older books are kind of sketchy when it comes to copyright printing and all that. But here we have a great picture. And this is just the Sketches of Boz. You can see it's maybe not in the best shape. We got some discoloring on the edges. The pages feel like they're barely holding on there. But this is a great collection of Dickens's first stories collected, and I was really excited to find it. I think I picked this one up at a thrift store or Half Price Books or something like that. This one is David Copperfield, and we've got another date here. This was given to Frederick Smith at Christmas of 1929. So, Frederick, if you're still around, I've got your book, and I'll get it back to you soon, I promise. But again, we got a nice photograph of or drawing of Charles Dickens there, and there's the beginning page. Now, I actually did read the story in this book. It's not quite as old, and as you can see, it was a little more sturdy on the spine. And what I remember reading it was during winter. I think it was leading up to Christmas. What I liked about it is I could fit it in my coat pocket easily. It just fit right in my pocket. I could carry it with me. I was donating plasma at the time, and so I was able to read this while I was donating plasma, and it would just fit in my coat pocket when I would go out. So it was nice to always have a Dickens with me as I went around that Christmas season. And then here again, another older book of his. This one is interesting. It contains Barnaby Rudge along with sketches of Boz. And I believe I got this one off of eBay. It looks like, if I can zoom in on the copyright there, it says 1867. So that can give you an idea perhaps how old this particular book is. And Barnaby Rudge, if you've read that, I've only read it once, but I seem to really remember enjoying it more than I thought I would, because this is one of his lesser known books. Here we got some illustrations, I think. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a nice drawing. I like that. I haven't really used this book much because it is pretty old from the looks of it. But I thought, this gold cover, I don't know what you call this part, but embossing maybe, was in good shape. The cover is beautiful. It looks great on my shelf. And I might read one or two stories out of there in the future, but like I said, it's getting old and I don't want to handle it too much. Now here we have Dombey and Son, another great Dickens story. Nice red edition. Again, got some page discoloring, and I don't know what copyright. Yeah, I don't have a date on this book, but it's, as you can tell, it's been around for a while. Not a whole lot here. I'm pretty sure I picked this one up from like a thrift store or Half Price Books. I've gotten a couple of them off eBay. I think that last one I got on eBay just because it looked pretty nice. But there's that one. Not a lot to say about that one. I think I read the story out of that as well. See, I have collector's editions that I don't read from just because they look nice and I want to try to preserve them. I have also some reading editions. I have like paperback copies of the books of Dickens books that I read from, so I don't damage some of these older books. But this one I read from. I got this all the way back when I was in college. I remember it's part of the favorite works of Charles Dickens series. It includes A Tale of Two Cities, The Cricket on the Hearth, and American Notes. Now, I read A Tale of Two Cities out of this one. I can remember doing that. And we got the printing here of 1942. So I was going to say that's 60 years ago, but no, that's more like 80 years ago. Boy, time flies. But this is such a beautiful story. By now, this is one of my favorite stories. And here we are with the opening. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And on it goes. I'm looking at it now. That's really tiny print. I'm getting older, guys. But very, very beautiful book. An interesting collection, though, of the stories that are in it. American Notes, The Cricket on the Hearth, and A Tale of Two Cities. I wouldn't expect those stories to go together, but here they are, and it's one of my. I have a lot of nostalgia for this edition because that's the one I read Tale of Two Cities in first. So this one has a special place on my bookshelf. All right, I'm back, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my old books. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to just go and look at old books and buy them occasionally, but a lot of them are outside of my price range. Sometimes if I go to like an old bookstore, used bookstore, half price books even, just to look at their old books, I don't necessarily buy them, but it's fun to look at them, see if there's any inscriptions in the cover, what they might say. I remember seeing one of Nicholas Nickleby that had an inscription in the front from the early 1920s, I believe it was. And it was given from a teacher to her student for him winning a spelling bee. And so that was his prize, was this giant brick of a Dickens book. And I thought, what a difference this world has become. I can't remember. I think he was grade school age. I don't know what that says more about the kids of that time period or the teachers of that time period, but I don't know when I was in third grade if I would have really enjoyed that as a gift. Now, absolutely. Even if it was Nicholas Nickleby, which isn't one of my favorite Dickens, just a different world we live in. And that's kind of why I like to find some of those old inscriptions on the cover. I know some say, well, that devalues the book, but I don't care. I'm not looking to resell it. I just want to own it and use it or admire it, and whatever it is we do with those books on our bookshelves. So anyway, that's a small peek at some of my Dickens antiques. I thought that would be a fun way to kick off Victober. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. We have a lot of Victober content coming this month, and I'm so excited to get this out to you all to start off the month with a look at my Dickens shelf. So until the next video, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We're getting so close to 100 subscribers. So I know I keep hounding on that a lot. I'm sorry. This is new and exciting to me. So let's see if we can get that subscriber amount up over 100. I'm so grateful for all of you who have joined onto the channel, for leaving comments. I'll try to answer all of them in some way. So let's keep our conversation going down below. And so until next time, just keep reading.